with over 100 heroes and tons of unique playstyles to play and master. One often cannot play every one of them and be equally successful. The reasons may be many: meta, compatibility, matchups and others. What if you could just play one hero and produce results regardless of any one of the conditions? That's right. Hi guys, Kazuki here, and in this video we will talk about some heroes from each role that you can actually spam, and by spam I mean not just spamming but intelligent spamming, or in other words, one tricking a hero and pushing up in the rank. So let's get started. One tricking by basic definition means playing a specific hero the majority of your matches. You would prefer to play that hero over any other, not because you like it or want to spam leaderboard MMR, but you can actually produce results and win games with it. One tricking is not that easy, as you aren't spamming, but you are deeply understanding each aspect of your hero and training yourself to automatically perform certain combos and action without actually thinking too much about it. Rather than forcing yourself to a new playstyle each game, you can focus on getting one so good it can beat the rest. We could go on explaining for hours about this, but in this video we will mention two heroes from each category that you can one trick and easily win. The criteria for us selecting these heroes are simple. Availability of the hero. We want the hero to be available to use at all times. For example, we won't tell you to master or one trick Roger only to have it be banned or insta-picked each game. We want something that you can get your hands on regardless of how the ban or pick go through. Relevance in the meta. The hero needs to be relevant. You can't just pick any random hero and say you will win with it. Well, you can, but it will require way more effort, which in the end isn't worth it. So the hero must have some capabilities to actually win your matches. That being said, let's get onto the heroes. Gold lane. This lane quite controversial in solo queue matches. People just think taking marksman means you are trolling. But we have some rock solid heroes that can easily carry games once they build an item or two. 1-1 after her buff is a great option at this lane. After her buff, she has been able to lane her ultimate a lot more frequently, which poses a huge threat once she gets her core item done. Demon Hunter Sword and Golden Staff combo are just godlike on her. Get inspired on her for the extra pew pew. Once the pew pew machine gun gets going, it's hard to find enemies on the map. Our second pick is Brody. The ban and top picks are already crowded by Melissa, Beatrix and Clint, so this guy is easily accessible and is strong as well. His hits can knock one down a little bit too easily. He has a stun and long range harass from ultimate, which makes him viable in the current meta. Experience lane. This lane is best to go for solo players. There isn't much action early on, allowing players to develop a good and healthy start, which they can convert to a huge lead if played right. With Yin getting constantly banned and the rise of glue at experience lane, the safest choice is Yuzong right now. Give him Petrify and he can almost decimate any opponent in 1 versus 1 encounter. He has CC and the ability to heal from damaging opponents, which makes him a sturdy pick. He can do some decent early game damage to the enemy's economy, allowing your team to snowball. With just Warx being his core item, you are free to build in whichever direction the game flows. More damage, more sustain, all is in your hands. Freya has been amazing pick too. She can deal some decent chunk of damage and not get overwhelmed by her lane opponents. She can take hits and deal them back twice, or maybe thrice fold, with her passive giving her attack speed After each skill cast, it is better to build more attack damage on her to ensure each of your hits can be painful for the enemy. In search of peace from losing too much, I found out an amazing game called Genshin Impact. It's a game like no other. If you like anime, then I must tell you to get ready to immerse into the world of Tewar. The magical open world has a lot for you to discover, and also you get to choose different characters and master the 7 elements. The new version 2.6 is loaded with a lot of exciting new content. A brand new area is introduced, that is Chasm area, as well as new quests and events with lot of exciting rewards with Primo Gems. You can also get a rerun 5-star cryo character Kamisato Ayaka. Just look at her, she is gorgeous. What's best is that it's a multiplayer and you can crossplay from any iOS, PC, Android or PS4 devices. And we could just go on and on telling you more about the game. So consider giving it a try. I will take the link in the comment. Do check that out. You can use my redeem code to get 60 Primo Gems and 5 adventure experience. With Estes, Johnson and many other tanks getting high in the ban or early pick rate, Franco is one of the better picks right now. He may lack group CC, but he's a threat like none other. He can early game harass enemy junglers by making them run for their buffs, and later in the game, single target pull and chain stun to ensure a particular threat is eliminated before the fight even begins. He is a great addition to any team given his all-round aggressive capabilities. The other roamer I would suggest would be Khufra. This guy is a game setter. He has a magic to get his team into position to overpower enemies. With 2 CC skill and his skill 2 to increase his defense, he can lead the charge and set it up for his team to seal the deal. Remember though, have someone to follow along. Khufra is intimidating, but he alone isn't enough to get the job done. Mid lane. Mid lane is one of the most exciting position, with the broken heroes like Xavier, Sicilian and Vale getting banned regularly. It opens up a lot of opportunity for other mages. Luo Yi is a very strong recommendation for this role. She has the damage and ability to cripple down enemies with continuous crowd control from her yin-yang reaction. Getting some cooldown early on can help you spam her skill 1 and skill 2 frequently to trigger more yin-yang reactions, which happens to be her major source of damage. She can easily melt down targets. Lilia is another strong mage for this list. She has a poke and harasses damage and the ability to fend off ganks. Her high movement speed boost from skill 2 can help her catch enemies from unexpected angles and burst them down from the skill 2 explosion. If you somehow manage to corner Lilia, she can always just use her ultimate to rewind the time, making all your advantage on her completely pointless. Lastly, the most controversial role, the hyper or jungler. There are too many great heroes that can be added to the list, but to point out a few, Lancelot is one great addition to any squad. With his array of dashes, he can dash in and out of any situation while fulfilling his task of eliminating the foe. A good Lancelot player can be a huge pain for the enemy to deal with, as they will always be troubled by the fact where will be the Lancelot dash next. With Fanny and Roger being at the top of the food chain, the door for Ling is a little wide open. Ling is a very strong pick. With his insanely high mobility and decent damage, he can be very useful in many team composition. He can be excellent ganker and objective stealer for his team, which would help set the path towards victory. A bonus pick for the jungler: do not pick this when you are in solo queue, but when you play with your friends in a pre-made team, take Bakshia as your jungler. This guy is low-key godlike in so many aspects. Ever since the changes, he has been gaining popularity in this role, and he is surprisingly very good at it. His skill to damage helps him to get the creeps cleared fast. His innate damage reduction increases his survivability even when he is building damage. Give him a shot if you play around in a team often. Conclusion. Some people might say you just spam, and that is true, but in the end what matters is the victory logo at the end of the game. Global 1 or unranked, the victory badge is all that matters. If you win, you win. These were some of the heroes I believe you can spam, or to say in a more civilized manner. One trick to get yourself ranked up. If you are wondering why you should one trick, what are its benefits, then like this video, let us know in the comments, and if we get enough demand, we will make a detailed guide on how it works. Until then, thanks for watching, keep supporting Kazuki Official.